Hello and welcome to the video. In this video I'm going to be unboxing, building and trying out a motorcycle dolly that I've just bought off eBay. You'll see some pictures around me now which will show what it's meant to look like. It cost £95 including shipping. It arrived today and is in this very plain box. So let's get started and see what it looks like. I must admit, bringing the box in, it was sitting on my front doorstep. It had been leant against the front door, which meant that when you opened the front door it tried to fall down, and it is incredibly heavy. Just moving it around to the garage, I reckon it's got to be about 35 kilos, something like that. I'm not sure, but it's very, very heavy, and you can feel the metal banging around inside of it. And I can hardly lift it like that to undo this tape. A box within a box. It is incredibly cold today as well. I think we're in the minus temperature, and this garage is not a pleasant place to be. So, some instructions. It looks like I have to put basically pretty much everything together on it, which isn't too difficult. Okay, so it's all very simple, just bolting it together now. I shall do a time-lapse video of the actual assembly process. So that's that built. It's a fairly simple thing to operate, which I'll show you in a second. I'm going to try loading a bike on it in just a moment. Generally it was fairly easy to put together. The only issues I had were to do with the bolts snapping. One of the bolts snapped because they're fairly cheap bolts, so I haven't been able to over tighten them, and I'm going to have to be careful with that, and I might replace most of the bolts in the future. But apart from that, it wasn't too bad. So let's give a try getting it on here. It's a bit tight in here for this, but we'll give it a go. Normally I'd expect to just ride the bike in and on it. I may have to, yeah, I think I'm going to have to put some power on to actually get onto the thing. Okay, so for this bike I'm going to have to adjust where the side stand gets. I've moved the side stand positioning on this, and now we'll give it another go. So that was a lot more difficult to get on, but once on it's fine. Let's see how easy it is to move. There we go. Actually, that's not too bad. It's certainly a lot easier than trying to wheel the bike around alone. Just run over my foot, which doesn't help. But basically, yeah, that moves pretty easily. Okay, so when I was trying to move the bike around, one thing I noticed is I've got a fairly rough garage floor. It could really do with a screed going on it to make it nice and flat. And so the wheels have a little bit of trouble moving on it. Add to that the fact that each time you push, you're pushing against the bike suspension. And because you're pushing against the bike suspension, it means that you're kind of losing a bit of power as you transfer across. It makes it difficult to get it over any little humps or things like that. So the solution I have to that is I've got this 6mm rope, it's 10 meters of it, which I'm going to cut into half to give me two 5-meter lengths. And then the holes where the sides stand could be adjusted to, the two end holes give me a point, one sort of about here just behind the front back wheel and another one just behind the front wheel, where I can thread the rope through, tie a knot in it so it can't come back out, and then I'll have a loop of rope with which I can pull, but I'll be pulling right from the ground level. And I'm hoping that's going to make it a little bit easier to pull the bike around on the stand, though clearly I've then got the problem I've got to keep the ropes out of the way when I'm loading the bike on, etc. But I don't think that'll be too bad. Anyway, let's give it a go. Okay, so the verdict is, for example, if I'm trying to move the bike this way, it's okay to move. If I grab it by the string, it is easier and it feels slightly more secure when you hit a slight bump. And then going the other way, same thing, it is easier to move. You can pull it like towards ground level and get it moving quite easily without worrying about tipping the bike over. For moving backwards and forwards, to be honest, it's probably easiest just grabbing the back of the bike and pushing it. That works very well. Or the other way around. Certainly does make it a little bit easier. Smoother floor would be better though. So apart from that, as far as the actual dolly is concerned, I'm pretty happy with it. I think for where I need to move the bike into a very specific tight location, it would work well. But I really do need a screed floor to get it to roll really smoothly across here. So as an overview of the whole system, it's good for moving the bike around. It's not perfect though, but it does make life a little bit easier. I was originally thinking I'd buy one for each bike, but I don't think I'll be doing that until I get to a point where I can have the garage floor actually screed and have a nice smooth floor just to roll the bikes around on really easily. Hope you found the video helpful. Thank you for watching. Please tune in again.
Who jammer flip?
Who jammer flip?
I'm going to have to put some power on to actually get onto the thing. Oh, side stand down.